Hi there, I'm Yusuke. Thanks for tuning in. And today we're going to talk about using aepcli to help your agents work with your REST API. Let's get started. You might have seen this recently, but there has been kind of a shift away from trying to make everything an MCP server and actually moving over to command line interfaces. There's a lot of interesting advantages with using CLIs. There's things like you don't have to actually pull in all of the tool definitions. They're self-describing to some extent with dash dash help, so they're actually able to discover the commands that you're looking for. And they already have some of the authorization credentials that you need locally. So a lot of people have kind of moved away from saying, hey, go ahead and install this MCP server, to just saying, hey, just use the CLI, instructing the agent to do so. And for the most part, agents are smart enough now that they're able to go pick that up without a lot of effort. So we're going to piggyback off of that and use the apes to help. So apes are basically short for API extension proposals. We have an opinionated specification around how REST APIs should be built, things like how creates, updates, deletes should work. And what's cool about that is we've produced this ecosystem of auto-generated tools. There's no action on the user. It's not LLM generated. It's actually literally just parsing the definition. And we're able to build this client ecosystem primarily because the APIs themselves are so opinionated and uniform. So if you look at this, we'll do a quick intro on ape.dev. It's aep.dev for those who are interested. We can look at the individual guidance, and it shows you things like how create, like as I mentioned previously, how create should work. Here's the specification around the get API. But we also provide this ecosystem of tooling. And in particular, we're going to go use this thing called aepcli. So here's a quick overview of our constellation of the client tooling here on the bottom. But we have things like Terraform, integrations, UIs, and of course, aepcli, which we'll be talking about today. The way that aepcli works is it consumes a open API definition from any location, remote, or it can also pull it locally as well. And what I've done here already is I have this aep-example/Python repository that has this ape-example API. It has this open API JSON definition. And what we can do here is we can actually just pass in the JSON definition, and it's able to go discover the resources that are available on that server, like a book and a shelf. And it's able to go ahead and create individual methods like list, create, delete for these. So what's awesome about this is that as an API producer, you don't have to worry about actually creating the CLI for yourself. You kind of get it for free. But today's talk is about sort of how aepcli helps agents, so we'll move on to that. And what I've done here is actually a couple different examples that I've already run, so I'll just kind of talk through them. One is I just opened up anti-gravity and just say, hey, use aepcli to list all of the books on the server. It's able to go understand that I need to go use aepcli. Example here is a shorthand for the OP API JSON I posted previously, and it's able to go find and discover these. It's found, okay, there's no books associated with this. I could say, tell me if there's any shelves, right? There's a little bit of sort of plural singular here that you kind of have to be careful of, but the LLM is able to go look at that structure. It's able to kind of do the same thing. And what's great is, again, there's no need to write an MCP server. It's able to go ahead and use the API directly. So in my next example here, I'm going to be using the Gemini CLI to do the exact same thing. The reason I wanted to use the CLI is because I can then select a very, very sort of light model like Gemini Flash 2.5 Lite, which shouldn't be that functional. And so we can kind of give that a shot to see if that's actually going to be able to interpret the command as well. And here's the prompt, use the aepcli command, and it's able to kind of work through it. It does the same self-discovery mechanism that you might have seen with the other example I showed. But at the end of the day, it's able to go ahead and figure out how to use it. It's able to go through, do the list, do that command. If I gave an even more precise prompt, it probably wouldn't have to go through any of that. But it's able to sort of understand what it is, come up with the result, and ultimately it's able to even figure out the fact that books are a nested resource under shelves and actually go find that particular resource. And at the end of the day, it's able to give me the answer. There are no books, under the horror shelf. Here's my takeaways. I hope this is interesting. Basically, I think we've shown that command line interfaces can be used to replace MCP servers sometimes. They give you that type of functionality, and they're self-describing, so it's pretty easy to figure out, or rather for agents to figure out what type of capabilities exist and how to use them. I think I've shown that even the smallest, lowest capability models can learn to use CLIs as well. And in particular, if you make your API ape-compliant, you can get these CLIs for free, and the integration with agents is really straightforward. And you can make your life a lot easier. All right. Thanks. I hope that was an interesting experiment. Thanks for tuning in.